Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the English Globe, where we explore different ways to learn English and discover how English impacts our world. I'm Adam, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Julia. Julia, how are you doing today?
Hi, Adam. I'm doing really well, thank you. And hello to all our listeners. I'm so happy to be here with you for another exciting conversation. Today, we're diving into a topic that really shows just how powerful and important English has become, especially in today's digital age. We're going to talk about the role of English in the digital world and why this language has become such a vital tool for global communication and connection. I think this is a topic that will help our listeners understand why English can make such a big difference in their lives.
Absolutely, Julia. You know, English is often called the global language because of how widely it's used around the world. But in the digital world, on the internet, social media, in business emails, or in online learning, it's even more essential. Think about it. Whether you're watching a video, joining a chat with people from other countries, or even just searching for information online, English is often the language you see and hear. So if you're trying to learn English, understanding how it's used in the digital world can really give you extra motivation to keep going.
That's so true, Adam. When we talk about the digital world, we're talking about everything from social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, to online communities, apps, work-from-home jobs, and even digital education tools. English has become the bridge that connects people in these spaces no matter where they are from. A person in India might be commenting on a post from someone in Brazil, and they could both be using English to communicate. That's the magic of English in the digital world. It brings people together.
Yes. And one thing that's really amazing is that even if English isn't your first language, you can still participate in so many online activities and conversations. People from all backgrounds are learning English so they can connect with others, share ideas, and gain access to information that would be much harder to find in their own language. In a way, English is almost like the language of the internet itself, right?
Exactly, Adam. In fact, some of the largest websites and platforms are primarily in English. Think about Google, YouTube, and Wikipedia. These platforms offer a huge amount of content in English. So if you can understand English, you have a greater chance to learn from a massive pool of information. You don't have to rely on translations. You can go directly to the source, and that's so empowering. It gives learners so many more opportunities to grow their knowledge and connect with others.
That's a great point, Julia. And it's not just about information either. English also allows you to be part of global conversations. Imagine joining an online course with students from all over the world, or maybe participating in a digital community where people discuss topics you're interested in, whether it's technology, business, art, or science. English is the common language that helps everyone understand each other. So if you know it, you can contribute, share your thoughts, and learn from others.
Yes, and what's even more interesting is that English isn't just useful in personal settings, it's also a major part of the professional world, especially as more companies work internationally or have remote teams. A lot of companies require English for communication, especially if they have team members in different countries. So learning English doesn't just open up social and educational opportunities. It also opens doors in the professional world, which is really important in today's digital age. The internet has made it possible to work from almost anywhere, and English is the key to many of those remote job opportunities.
Absolutely, Julia. And for our listeners, I think this is a really exciting thought. Learning English isn't just about studying vocabulary or grammar. It's actually about preparing yourself to take part in a much larger world. Whether you want to watch an English movie, read an interesting article, or even work with people in other countries, English is what connects you to all these opportunities. In the digital world, you can reach out to almost anyone, and English gives you the power to do that.
And that's why we chose this topic for today. We know many of you are learning English, and it can sometimes feel challenging or even overwhelming. But we hope that by discussing the role of English in today's digital world, you'll see just how valuable it is and how much it can benefit you. Every day, people use English online to connect, share, and learn, and you can be part of that.
Well said, Julia. So to everyone listening today, we invite you to imagine all the things you can do with English in the digital space. Think about the friends you could make, the knowledge you could gain, and the opportunities that might come your way. English is more than just a subject to study. It's a tool that lets you explore the digital world in a whole new way.
Exactly, Adam. So, whether you're using English on social media, for a job, or to watch videos on YouTube, remember that every bit of practice helps you feel more confident and more connected. So let's get started with today's discussion. We'll be diving into different ways that English is used in digital spaces and sharing some tips on how you can make the most of your English skills online.
Sounds like a great plan, Julia. Let's begin exploring how English is shaping the digital world and how each of you, our listeners, can use it to open new doors. Stay with us, and let's dive right into it. All right, everyone. Now let's dive a little deeper into why English holds such an important place in digital communication. We mentioned in our introduction that English is often called the global language, but that's not just a saying. It's a fact we see every day on the internet, in social media, and in digital interactions all over the world. The reason English has become the most commonly used language online is because it's spoken as either a first or second language by millions of people. It has this unique position of being accessible and widely understood across so many regions, cultures, and countries. In a world that's more connected than ever, especially through the internet, this widespread use of English helps to create a common ground where people can communicate easily, despite being thousands of miles apart or from completely different backgrounds.
Exactly, Adam. And let's think about how the internet has changed over the years. In the early days, the internet was more limited, but as it grew, people started using it for all kinds of communication: emails, forums, chat rooms, and eventually social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even business communication tools like LinkedIn. As these digital spaces grew, English became the dominant language because it allowed people from different countries to connect without needing a translator. This is incredibly powerful because when people are able to speak directly to one another, they can share their experiences, their ideas, and their perspectives. And that exchange of ideas is what really builds a global community.
You're absolutely right, Julia. And it's not just about being able to chat with people from other countries. It's about access to information, to learning resources, to online communities. When you know English, you're able to understand content from so many different parts of the world. Think about it. A lot of the top websites, blogs, and even the latest tech news or scientific research are published in English. People who understand English can read these articles or watch videos that would otherwise be out of reach. It's like a doorway to endless information that people wouldn't have otherwise. And for learners out there who want to improve, this means you can find resources to help with your studies, connect with people who are also learning English, or even join English-speaking groups or forums to practice and learn together.
Yes, and this also applies to social media, Adam. Social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram are used by billions of people every day. And even though these platforms are available in different languages, you'll notice that a lot of the popular content is in English, and many people, regardless of where they're from, use English to connect. When you post something in English, you're not just sharing with people in your own country, you're sharing with a global audience. So if you know English, you can join conversations that are happening all over the world. For example, if there's a major event or news story, people from dozens of countries might be talking about it in English. And by joining those conversations, you're becoming part of a larger international dialogue. That's something truly powerful because it's like being able to participate in a huge, worldwide community.
And social media is such a great example, Julia, because it's one of the places where English is used in a really natural, everyday way. When people post about their lives, their thoughts, or share photos, they often use simple, conversational English. For learners, this can be a really useful way to see how native speakers or fluent users communicate. It's not just textbook English, it's real, casual English that you might use with friends. Social media can almost be like a practice ground where learners can pick up phrases, learn slang, and get comfortable with informal expressions. Plus, if they want to join a group chat, post a comment, or even send a private message to someone from another country, English makes it possible.
Exactly. And let's not forget the digital work environment. English is crucial for online jobs or for people who want to work remotely. Since so many companies today operate internationally, they often use English as their main language for communication, especially if they have employees or clients in different countries. Even in non-English speaking countries, companies may require English to communicate with partners, suppliers, or clients. So if you're comfortable using English, you're not only connecting with people on a personal level through social media, but you're also opening doors for professional opportunities that might not be available otherwise. Just imagine being able to apply for a job with a company that's based in another country simply because you know English. It gives you a chance to connect with people in a professional way that might be life-changing.
And on that note, let's think about how English allows people to keep up with new trends and technologies. When a new app, website, or platform is released, instructions and tutorials are usually available in English. If you understand English, you can learn to use these tools quickly, sometimes even before they're translated into other languages. And since the digital world changes so fast, this is a big advantage. People who know English often get early access to the newest information, products, and innovations, whether it's the latest social media app, a new feature on an existing platform, or the newest software for working remotely. It's like having a fast pass to understanding and using the latest digital tools.
Exactly, Adam. And knowing English also makes it easier to learn online. A lot of online courses, whether they're on platforms like Coursera, Udemy, or YouTube, are in English. In fact, many of these courses are only available in English, and they cover everything from basic skills to advanced subjects like coding, design, or even business management. For people who want to learn a new skill or improve their knowledge, understanding English means they have a much larger selection of courses to choose from. They're not limited to what's available in their own language, which means they can really expand their education, improve their skills, and, as a result, increase their chances of succeeding in their careers.
And it's interesting, Julia, because English doesn't just give you access to information, but it also allows you to share your own ideas with a wider audience. If you're someone who wants to share your thoughts, write a blog, create a YouTube channel, or even make a podcast like we're doing right now, using English lets you reach an international audience. You could be from Japan, Brazil, or Germany, but if you speak or write in English, people from all over the world can understand you. This is what makes English so valuable. It's not just about learning from others, but also about sharing your unique perspective and being part of a bigger, worldwide conversation.
Yes, that's one of the most amazing things about English in digital communication. It truly allows you to connect in every way possible, to learn, to teach, to listen, to speak. And as our listeners grow more comfortable with English, they can become more active participants in this global community. They can express their thoughts, their opinions, and their stories. They can make connections with people who may live in places they've never even visited. Knowing English doesn't just open doors, it opens the world.
Well said, Julia. So, for anyone who's learning English, remember that each step you take brings you closer to being part of this global digital community. Whether it's connecting with friends on social media, taking an online course, or even working with people from other countries, English is a bridge that helps you go further and do more in the digital world. And that's why we think it's so important for anyone interested in being part of this modern, connected world to focus on improving their English.
Absolutely, Adam. So, as we continue this podcast, let's keep exploring how English impacts the digital world and how our listeners can use it to their advantage. We'll be sharing tips and insights to make English learning a little easier and a lot more fun.
All right, Julia, let's talk now about one of the most exciting ways that people are using English in the digital world: social media and online communities. I think we can all agree that social media has become one of the most powerful tools for connecting people, sharing ideas, and building friendships. With platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, we have endless opportunities to communicate with people from all over the globe. And English plays a huge role in this because it's often the main language used across these platforms, even in places where English isn't the native language.
Exactly, Adam. Social media is like a big digital town square where everyone can come together. Whether you want to talk about your favorite hobbies, share something inspiring, or learn something new, English helps make that possible. For example, on Instagram, people post pictures and videos from their lives, and they often write captions in English. Even if English isn't their first language, they know that by using it, they can reach a wider audience. And it's not just about reaching people in your own country. It's about connecting with people from all over. It really brings people together in a way that other languages might not, because English is such a common language for communication online.
That's so true, Julia. And let's not forget about Facebook. On Facebook, you have groups where people gather to discuss different topics, whether it's traveling, learning new skills, fitness, or even English itself. Many of these groups are run in English, and people from all over the world join to ask questions, share experiences, and help each other. For someone learning English, this is an amazing opportunity. They can join these groups and see how native speakers or fluent users communicate. They can even join the conversation themselves. It's like being part of a big classroom, but it's informal, fun, and you get to talk to people with different ideas and backgrounds. By practicing English in these groups, learners are not only improving their skills, but also getting to know new cultures and perspectives.
And don't forget about YouTube. YouTube is one of the biggest platforms for learning and entertainment, and a lot of the content on YouTube is in English. If you want to learn about science, cooking, fitness, or even practice a new language, there are videos for it. And because so much of the content is in English, learners have the chance to immerse themselves in English by watching videos on topics they love. They can follow English-speaking creators, leave comments, and even engage with other viewers. It's like a big community where people can share knowledge, give opinions, and connect over shared interests. The comment section on YouTube is a really interactive place where people discuss the video, ask questions, or even make friends. So for learners, watching English videos and reading or writing in the comments is a great way to practice.
You're absolutely right, Julia. YouTube is such a great platform for learning because it gives you visuals and audio. You can watch someone explaining a topic, and at the same time, you can hear how they speak, how they pronounce words, and the types of expressions they use. For people learning English, it's like having an English teacher who's always available, and they can watch the videos as many times as they need. Plus, the platform is full of educational channels that explain English grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and even how to sound more natural when speaking. There are so many resources, and the best part is, it's all free. Anyone with an internet connection can access this huge library of English content, making YouTube a valuable tool for anyone looking to learn.
And another amazing part about social media, Adam, is how easy it makes it to make friends. When you connect with someone on Instagram, Facebook, or even through comments on a YouTube video, you're forming friendships that might not have been possible without English. Think about it. If you're posting in English, people from different countries can understand you, respond to you, and maybe even become friends. You can share your life, your thoughts, your interests, and learn about their lives too. It's like having pen pals, but instead of writing letters and waiting weeks for a reply, you're chatting instantly. And what's amazing is that these friendships are often with people from completely different cultures. You might be in Brazil, but your new friend could be from Japan. And because you both know English, you're able to communicate and learn from each other.
That's so true. And it's really powerful, Julia, because these online friendships can grow into real relationships that broaden our understanding of the world. Social media lets us experience the lives of people we might never meet in person. We get to see what they're passionate about, what their day-to-day looks like, and what's important to them. And all of this is possible through English. By communicating in English, we get to be part of this vast global network where everyone is sharing their stories, and for learners, this is an opportunity to practice English in a way that feels natural and enjoyable.
And these online communities go beyond just socializing too. Many people use English to join discussions about important topics. For example, there are Facebook groups dedicated to learning and practicing English, where people share tips, resources, and advice. There are also communities for discussing books, movies, and even current events. In these groups, people ask questions, share opinions, and engage in debates. And for English learners, this is a fantastic way to develop both language and critical thinking skills. You're not only practicing English, but also learning how to express yourself clearly and respectfully in a public forum. It's like practicing conversation in a way that helps you grow as a thinker and communicator.
I think you're spot on, Julia. And let's not forget, these discussions help people learn new things as well. Maybe they join a photography group on Facebook or an art community on Instagram. Even if they're beginners, they can read what others are saying, pick up new techniques, or ask for advice. And the fact that these discussions happen in English gives learners the chance to develop their vocabulary around specific topics. So if they're interested in cooking, for example, they'll start learning English words related to food, recipes, and techniques. This kind of learning isn't just useful for improving English skills, it's also practical because it's focused on real topics that people care about.
Exactly. Social media and online communities are truly valuable tools for English learners because they make language learning feel like a natural part of life. You're not just learning from a textbook, you're actually using English to connect with people and to engage with topics you're passionate about. It's this blend of learning and living that really helps English come alive, making it feel like something real and useful. And as learners grow more comfortable, they might even find themselves starting conversations, giving advice to others, or sharing their own experiences. They're no longer just learning, they're contributing to these communities.
And that's the beauty of it, Julia. Using English in social media and online communities allows people to see English as more than just a subject to study. They start to see it as a tool that can help them in so many ways, to connect, to learn, and to grow. So, for anyone out there who's learning English, don't be afraid to use social media as a way to practice. Leave comments, join groups, post your thoughts, and engage with others. You'll be surprised by how much you can learn just by being part of these communities, and you'll also gain confidence as you see yourself connecting with people from all over the world.
That's so true, Adam. And the wonderful thing is, even though it can feel a little scary at first, each interaction helps build your skills and your confidence. You're learning from real experiences, real conversations, and real friendships. It's a way of learning that's interactive and meaningful. So let's encourage our listeners to get out there, join these online communities, and start using their English in real, impactful ways.
Absolutely, Julia. Social media and online communities are amazing places for practicing English and making connections that can last a lifetime. English learners have so many opportunities to make friends, to explore new interests, and to be part of something bigger than themselves. So, to everyone listening, don't hold back. Dive in, start small if you need to, and just watch as your English skills grow along with your friendships and connections. All right, Julia, let's dive into another huge area where English plays an important role: business and the world of work. As we know, English has become the main language in many professional settings, especially for international companies and remote work opportunities. Today, more businesses operate across borders than ever before. Companies have offices in different countries, teams that work from different parts of the world, and clients from many places. English often becomes the common language in these situations because it's widely taught and used around the world. So, even if you're working with people from Japan, Germany, or Brazil, English allows everyone to communicate smoothly.
Exactly, Adam. In fact, it's not just about communicating with your team, it's also about connecting with clients and customers from different places. Imagine you're working in a tech company in India and you have clients in the United States or Europe. Knowing English helps you explain your products, discuss services, or solve problems quickly. Many companies see English as a valuable skill because it allows their employees to work directly with international clients without needing translators. So, for people looking to grow in their careers, English can be a really important part of their professional development.
And with the rise of remote work, this has become even more significant. Over the past few years, especially since the pandemic, more people are working from home or from places outside traditional offices. This has opened up opportunities for people to work for companies anywhere in the world, not just in their own countries. And guess what? Many of these remote jobs require English skills. For instance, if you're a software developer in Brazil, you could work for a tech company based in the US, Europe, or Australia. But to communicate with your team, read documents, or join meetings, you'll likely need to use English.
And it's not only tech jobs either. Many fields have embraced remote work: customer service, marketing, content creation, graphic design, and so much more. In most of these roles, English skills can be really helpful, if not essential. Think about a customer service job, for example. If you're answering calls or emails from people in different countries, you'll probably need to do that in English. Many companies want their customer service teams to be able to handle clients from different backgrounds. So, by knowing English, people can apply for jobs in many different fields, even if the company isn't based in their home country.
Absolutely, Julia. Learning English really does open doors. It expands the types of jobs you can apply for and the places you can work. And it's not just about finding a job, it's also about advancing in your career. In many companies, English is the language of meetings, reports, presentations, and even training materials. For example, if you're in a meeting with managers from different countries, you'll often speak in English so everyone understands each other. Or, if you're learning about new technology or a new system, the training videos and guides might be in English. So having a good grasp of English can help people feel more confident and prepared in these situations, which can lead to promotions or new opportunities within the company.
Right. And let's not forget about the benefits for entrepreneurs and freelancers. More and more people are working for themselves these days, offering their services on freelance platforms or starting their own businesses. English can be a huge advantage for freelancers because it allows them to reach clients from all over the world. If you're a graphic designer in Spain, for example, you could offer your services to companies in Canada, South Africa, or Thailand. English lets you market yourself to a global audience, communicate effectively with clients, and increase your earning potential. It's really empowering for freelancers to know that by learning English, they're making themselves available to more opportunities.
And for those who are just starting their own businesses, English can also help them grow. If someone wants to sell products online, they might create a website or a social media page, and by using English, they can reach a larger audience. There are many resources in English that can help them learn how to grow their business, like articles, webinars, and online courses. Many successful entrepreneurs share advice, strategies, and ideas in English, which makes it easier to access information and best practices from experts around the world. Learning English can be like having a guide to the global business community.
That's a great point, Adam. And what's amazing is that many companies now offer online training in English. If someone is working remotely for an international company, they might get access to online courses, workshops, or webinars in English that help them develop their skills even further. Some companies even provide their employees with English classes or resources to help them improve. This means that people who know some English can continue to learn, not only by doing their jobs, but by taking part in professional development activities in English. They're learning new skills that can help them advance in their careers.
And beyond technical skills, English also helps with what we call soft skills. In many workplaces, good communication, problem-solving, and teamwork are valued just as much as technical abilities. When people use English at work, they practice these skills naturally, like speaking up in meetings, writing emails, or even negotiating. Knowing English also gives them the confidence to network, which is when people build connections with others in their field. Networking can be really helpful for finding new job opportunities or learning about trends in their industry. When they can network in English, they're able to connect with professionals from all over the world.
And networking is so valuable. Through networking, people can learn about new trends, exchange ideas, and get advice from others who might have more experience in their field. And the great thing about online networking is that many of these conversations happen in English. Whether it's a professional group on LinkedIn, a workshop with international participants, or a conference, English makes it possible to participate fully. Even if English isn't perfect, just being able to participate in these conversations and learn from others is a big step forward.
Exactly, Julia. English isn't about being perfect. It's about being able to communicate and understand. And as you said, even if someone isn't fluent, they can still benefit from learning English. They can ask questions, share their experiences, and build their confidence. This kind of engagement makes a big difference, especially in the digital work environment. For people who are open to learning and improving their English, the world of work becomes so much more accessible and interesting. They're not limited to jobs or clients from their own country. They can look for work opportunities from almost anywhere.
That's so inspiring, Adam. I think it's important for people to remember that learning English doesn't just mean memorizing grammar or vocabulary. It's about opening up more choices for yourself. When you know English, you're able to take on challenges that you might not have been able to before. And as we said earlier, these opportunities are increasing as more companies go global and remote work becomes more common. People can work from home, work for international companies, and connect with colleagues around the world, all because they know English.
Absolutely, Julia. So, to our listeners who are working on their English, keep going. It's not always easy, but every bit of progress you make is giving you more possibilities. Imagine where you could work, who you could meet, and what you could accomplish with English as part of your skill set. The world of work is changing, and English is helping to connect people in ways we've never seen before. So keep practicing, keep learning, and remember that you're investing in yourself.
That's right, Adam. And remember, everyone, learning English isn't just about language. It's about expanding your potential, opening doors, and being ready for all kinds of opportunities that come your way. We're here to support you on that journey, and we hope this discussion has shown you some of the exciting possibilities out there. No matter what field you're in, English can make a difference in your work life. So don't be afraid to keep pushing forward and exploring all the ways English can help you achieve your career goals.
All right, Julia, let's talk about a really exciting aspect of learning English in the digital world: technology. Over the last few years, technology has made it so much easier and more accessible for people around the world to learn English. There are so many tools available now: language apps, online courses, virtual classrooms, and even video platforms. Let's start with language apps. Apps like Duolingo, Babbel, and Memrise have become really popular for language learners because they're easy to use, interactive, and available anytime, anywhere. Imagine being able to practice English vocabulary, grammar, or even pronunciation while you're waiting for the bus or during a lunch break. These apps make it possible for people to practice whenever they have a free moment, turning language learning into something that fits into a busy life.
Absolutely, Adam. And the best part about language apps is that they make learning feel like a game. Many apps have features like points, rewards, and daily challenges, which motivate learners to practice a little bit each day. For example, some apps have you complete levels or earn badges as you progress. This gamified experience makes it fun to learn, even if you're just spending a few minutes each day on it. And over time, these small moments add up, helping people make steady progress. Plus, a lot of these apps are free or low cost, which makes them accessible to many people who might not be able to afford traditional classes.
That's a great point, Julia. And then we have online courses, which have really transformed how people can learn English. Many universities and language schools now offer English courses online, where you can learn everything from basic vocabulary to advanced business English. Platforms like Coursera, Udemy, and edX have courses that cover specific topics, like English for beginners, English for travel, or English for business. Learners can choose a course that fits their goals, and they often get to learn from qualified teachers and complete assignments. It's like taking a real class, but you can do it from home, at your own pace.
And one of the most exciting parts of online courses is that they often include interactive elements like quizzes, assignments, and even live video lessons with teachers. So even though you're learning from home, you still get a structured learning experience, and you can practice what you're learning through exercises and feedback from teachers. For example, if you're working on your writing skills, some courses let you submit assignments, and teachers or other learners give you feedback. This is such a helpful way to learn because it allows people to improve step by step with guidance.
Exactly. And for people who like learning with others, virtual classes have been a big development. Many language schools now offer virtual classes that let you join a live class with a teacher and other students from all over the world. This means that even if you're at home, you can still have the experience of being in a classroom. Platforms like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Google Meet have made it possible to have real-time lessons where you can ask questions, get immediate answers, and practice speaking with classmates. It's a fantastic way for people to get that interactive classroom feeling without needing to travel anywhere.
And it's amazing because virtual classes also help people connect with others who are learning English from different parts of the world. Imagine being in a class where you're practicing English with someone from Japan, another person from Brazil, and another from Germany. This kind of environment encourages learners to speak, listen, and interact in English, making the experience more dynamic and fun. Plus, learning with others often makes people feel more motivated. They're not just learning alone, they're part of a community, and they get to celebrate each other's progress along the way.
And then there's the added benefit of using technology to learn independently. For those who want to take control of their own learning, technology offers many ways to practice without needing a teacher. One simple but effective tool is YouTube. There are thousands of English lessons available on YouTube, covering everything from grammar to pronunciation to conversation tips. People can watch videos that match their level and interests, and they can pause, rewind, or replay lessons as many times as they need. It's a flexible way to learn because you can find content that suits you and you can practice at your own pace.
That's so true, Adam. YouTube also gives learners access to teachers and content they might not find locally. There are so many English teachers from different backgrounds, teaching in different styles. Some use stories to teach, some focus on casual conversation, and others break down grammar rules in simple ways. And beyond lessons, there are videos of people speaking naturally in English, like travel vlogs, interviews, or daily life videos. Watching these types of videos can help learners get used to how English sounds in real conversations, which is an important part of becoming fluent.
And speaking of real conversations, there are also apps designed specifically for language exchange, where learners can connect with native speakers or other English learners. Apps like HelloTalk and Tandem let people chat, text, or even video call others who are also learning or who are native speakers. This kind of practice is so valuable because it allows learners to use English in a natural way, talking about topics that interest them and practicing real conversation skills. It's not just about learning the language, it's about using it with others, which builds confidence.
Yes. Language exchange apps are fantastic because they offer a two-way learning experience. Let's say you're a native Spanish speaker learning English, and you connect with a native English speaker learning Spanish. You can help each other practice, maybe spend half the time speaking in English and the other half in Spanish. It's like having a language partner, and it makes learning feel like a real friendly exchange. Plus, you get to learn about each other's cultures, which makes the experience even richer.
Another great way to use technology for independent learning is through podcasts. Like our own podcast, The English Globe, there are many podcasts designed to help people learn English. Some are designed specifically for English learners and focus on topics like vocabulary, listening practice, and common phrases. Others are regular English language podcasts, which advanced learners might listen to improve their listening skills. The nice thing about podcasts is that people can listen to them while they're doing other things, like driving, cooking, or exercising. It's a way to fit English practice into your daily routine.
And let's not forget about audiobooks too. Audiobooks are another great way to practice listening skills, and they're often available in English on platforms like Audible or through library apps. Learners can start with simpler books or even children's books if they're just beginning. As they get more confident, they can move on to longer books or even novels. It's a wonderful way to improve vocabulary and pronunciation. Some people like to read along with the audiobook, which helps with recognizing words and learning their meanings in context.
And finally, let's mention how technology helps with writing and speaking practice. There are tools like Grammarly, which help learners improve their writing by checking grammar, spelling, and even suggesting better ways to phrase things. It's like having a teacher in your pocket. For speaking, there are apps like Elsa Speak that use voice recognition to help with pronunciation. These tools allow people to practice speaking and writing in private, which can be a great way to build confidence before using English in real conversations.
Technology really has made it possible for learners to have access to almost everything they need to practice English. They can read, listen, write, and even speak with the help of these digital tools. And the best part is, learners can mix and match these resources based on what works best for them. Some might like using an app daily, while others prefer watching videos or joining live classes. The options are so flexible, which makes it easier for each person to find a way of learning that suits them best.
Yes, and for those who may feel a bit shy about learning in front of others, technology provides a way to build skills privately. Whether it's practicing vocabulary, improving pronunciation, or trying out conversations through a language exchange app, these tools allow people to take their time and build their skills in a comfortable way. It really shows how technology can empower learners to reach their English goals.
So, to all our listeners, if you're interested in improving your English skills, don't be afraid to explore the technology available. Whether you're using an app, watching videos, joining virtual classes, or trying out a podcast, remember that there are so many resources to help you along the way. Learning English has never been more accessible, and technology allows you to tailor the experience to your own needs and pace.
That's right, Julia. Learning English through technology can be an exciting journey. So, find the tools that work best for you and remember to keep practicing. Every little step you take brings you closer to your goal. Technology gives us the power to learn and grow in our own ways, and we're here cheering you on. All right, Julia. Let's dive into how English plays a huge role in the world of education and research. Nowadays, when people want to learn something new or dive deep into a subject, they often turn to online resources, digital courses, or research articles. And in many cases, the majority of these materials are in English. English has truly become the global language of academia, not only because it's spoken in so many places, but also because it's often the common language used in international research and educational content.
Exactly, Adam. Just think about all the online courses available on platforms like Coursera, edX, and Khan Academy. Many of these courses are created by top universities and educators around the world, and a large number of them are in English. This means that if someone has a basic understanding of English, they have access to learning materials from some of the best institutions in the world. Imagine being able to learn about computer science from a professor at Harvard or business from a teacher at the London School of Economics, all from the comfort of your home. For many people, knowing English opens doors to education that might otherwise be out of reach.
Absolutely, Julia. And it's not just the online courses. When we look at research articles, whether it's in science, technology, medicine, or even social sciences, English is often the primary language used to publish research findings. Let's say a scientist in Japan makes an important discovery about a new medicine. For this discovery to reach people around the world, it's likely to be published in English, so that scientists from different countries can understand it and build upon it. Knowing English allows people to access this research, stay updated with the latest developments, and even contribute to global discussions in their field.
And for students who dream of studying abroad, English can be incredibly important. Many top universities around the world, whether they're in the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, or even countries like Germany and Sweden, offer programs taught in English. So if someone from, let's say, Brazil wants to study engineering in the United States or the United Kingdom, they'll need to understand English well. Universities in English-speaking countries require students to be proficient in English, which is often tested through exams like IELTS or TOEFL. Knowing English doesn't just make it easier to get accepted into these programs, it also helps students succeed once they're there, as all their classes, assignments, and exams will be in English.
Yes. And even in countries where English is not the primary language, many universities still offer courses in English, especially for international students. This is because English is a language that can connect people from different parts of the world, allowing universities to attract students globally. For instance, universities in countries like the Netherlands, Finland, and Denmark offer programs in English to make it easier for students from different countries to attend. It's fascinating to see how English acts as a bridge, making education more accessible and diverse.
And there's another important part to this, Adam. Beyond just getting into a university, English helps students understand and participate in global research. Imagine you're studying biology and you want to learn about the latest research in genetics. Most of this research is published in English, and many of the top academic journals, like Nature, Science, and The Lancet, publish almost exclusively in English. So if someone can read and understand English, they have direct access to cutting-edge research. They can stay updated, learn new methods, and even participate in international discussions and collaborations in their field. In a way, English helps make the latest scientific discoveries available to everyone who can read it.
That's so true, Julia. And let's not forget about how English helps with educational resources beyond just universities and research papers. Think about all the books, articles, and study materials available online in English. Many websites offer free resources, like Wikipedia, which has pages on almost every topic you can think of, with many of the most detailed entries written in English. This means that if someone wants to learn about history, literature, or even how to cook a new dish, they'll find a wealth of information at their fingertips just by knowing English. It really empowers people to learn independently and follow their curiosity.
Exactly. And we shouldn't forget about online libraries and archives. Many major universities and organizations offer free or affordable access to digital libraries filled with books, journals, and other resources, and a lot of these are in English. For example, the Digital Public Library of America offers a huge collection of texts. And there's Project Gutenberg, which provides free ebooks in English. For students or researchers, these resources are invaluable, offering access to classic literature, historical documents, and even scientific papers. Again, English is the key to opening these doors, allowing people to study and learn without geographical or financial limitations.
And when it comes to connecting with educators or experts, English is often the language that helps make that connection possible. Many professors, researchers, and industry experts around the world use English to communicate with international students and colleagues. Social media platforms like LinkedIn and Twitter make it easier than ever to reach out to these experts, attend virtual lectures, or even join webinars on topics you're interested in. Imagine you're a student who's passionate about environmental science. You can attend an online talk by a scientist from another country, or even join a Q&A session, all because you can understand and speak English. It's amazing how English enables these kinds of interactions.
And it's not just about consuming information. Knowing English also gives people the power to share their own ideas and research with a global audience. If a student from Egypt writes an interesting paper on renewable energy, for example, publishing it in English means people around the world can read it, learn from it, and discuss it. It's a way to contribute to the global pool of knowledge and even collaborate with people from different countries. English opens up opportunities not just to learn, but to actively participate in the academic community.
That's right. And it's also worth mentioning that for people who are interested in developing educational content, knowing English can be a huge advantage. Many online educators and content creators produce videos, write articles, or develop courses in English, which allows them to reach a global audience. Platforms like YouTube, Udemy, and even personal blogs offer ways for people to teach subjects they're passionate about, whether it's math, history, or language skills, and to share their knowledge with people everywhere. By producing content in English, educators can connect with learners from many different countries, creating a truly international learning experience.
Yes. And think about language exchange and study groups too. There are so many online communities where students from different countries come together to study, discuss topics, and share resources, and most of these discussions happen in English. For instance, if you're studying computer science, you might join a forum where people discuss coding problems or new developments in artificial intelligence. By knowing English, you can be part of these communities, ask questions, get advice, and help others who are learning too. English gives students a way to be part of something bigger and helps create connections that might not be possible otherwise.
So for anyone who's thinking about studying further, working in research, or even just exploring new areas of knowledge, learning English can be a huge advantage. It's not just about getting into a university, it's about having access to a whole world of information, resources, and global connections. Knowing English can truly enhance one's educational journey, opening up possibilities to learn from experts, access the latest research, and participate in discussions that might shape the future.
That's a beautiful way to put it, Adam. So for all our listeners out there, remember that learning English is not just about communicating. It's a tool that can unlock doors in education, research, and beyond. The world of knowledge is vast, and English can be your way to explore it all. Embrace this journey of learning, and you never know how many opportunities it might lead to.
All right, Julia. Let's move on to something I think will be really helpful for our listeners. Practical tips on how to use digital tools to improve their English skills. I mean, we're living in a time where there's just so much at our fingertips. With the internet, smartphones, and so many apps, learning English can actually be something you do from anywhere, at any time. And it doesn't have to be boring. In fact, there are a lot of fun ways to practice.
Absolutely, Adam. So let's break it down. I think it's useful to look at each area of language learning, like vocabulary, pronunciation, listening and conversation practice, and suggest some specific resources and tools for each. For instance, when it comes to vocabulary, one of the easiest ways to build up words and phrases is through apps. A popular one is Duolingo. It's great because it's gamified, so you earn points and rewards as you complete lessons. It makes learning new words fun and encourages daily practice, which is so important.
Yes, Duolingo is fantastic, especially for beginners. And if someone wants to dig a little deeper into vocabulary, especially more advanced words, I would recommend an app like Memrise. Memrise uses spaced repetition, a technique that helps you remember words better by showing them to you at intervals. It also has a lot of visual cues and videos of native speakers, so you get a sense of real-life usage. And for people who want to focus on academic or professional English, the app Quizlet is a great option for creating custom flashcards, which can be especially useful if you're studying for tests like the TOEFL or Ielts.
And for pronunciation, there are so many tools now that can help learners sound more like native speakers. One of the best tools, in my opinion, is YouTube. There are tons of channels dedicated to teaching English pronunciation. A few good ones include Rachel's English and English with Lucy. These channels break down how to form sounds and show you how to position your mouth and tongue. It's like having a personal pronunciation coach for free.
Yes, YouTube is a treasure trove for language learners. And another great tool for pronunciation practice is the app Elsa Speak. Elsa uses artificial intelligence to analyze your speech and gives you feedback on areas you need to improve. It's like having an interactive tutor in your pocket. The app helps with individual sounds, words, and even full sentences. It's particularly helpful for those who are self-conscious about their accent or want to get closer to a native-sounding accent.
Exactly, Adam. Now, when it comes to listening skills, I think podcasts are one of the best resources available. The good thing about podcasts is that you can listen to them anytime, while commuting, doing household chores, or even exercising. And there are podcasts at every level of English, so learners can start with basic ones and work their way up. Some good ones for English learners are ESL Pod, The English We Speak by BBC Learning English, and of course our own podcast here at the English Globe.
Yes, we hope we're helping our listeners too. And let's not forget about other listening resources like Netflix or YouTube series with English subtitles. Watching shows in English, even with subtitles on, helps learners get familiar with different accents, slang, and conversational language. It's a relaxed way to pick up new words and understand the flow of natural conversations. If you find a show you like, I recommend re-watching episodes without subtitles. It's a great way to test your understanding and improve over time. And for those who want to focus on practicing speaking, there are a few really good apps out there. HelloTalk and Tandem are two that come to mind. These apps connect you with native English speakers from around the world who are also trying to learn a new language. It's basically a language exchange, so you can help someone with your native language while they help you with English. It's a fantastic way to get real conversation practice and learn more about different cultures at the same time.
I completely agree, Julia. Practicing with real people helps you gain confidence and experience in speaking. Plus, these apps often include text translation, so you can understand each other, even if you don't know all the words. Another fun option for conversation practice is using virtual reality platforms. There's an app called VR Chat, where you can chat with people from around the world in a virtual space. It's an exciting and immersive way to practice English, especially if you're interested in exploring new technology while you learn.
That's a great tip, Adam. And if someone is looking for more structured lessons, online courses are a fantastic option. Websites like Coursera, Udemy, and FutureLearn offer English courses on everything from grammar basics to business English. Many of these courses are free or very affordable, and some even give you a certificate when you complete them. It's a good way to learn at your own pace and focus on specific areas you want to improve. Yes, structured courses can really help give a sense of progress, and we shouldn't forget the role of social media in language learning either. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok have so many accounts dedicated to teaching English. Teachers share short, easy-to-digest videos on grammar tips, vocabulary, and even cultural insights. Some good accounts to follow are English with Emma and Learn English with Bob the Canadian. It's a quick, interactive way to learn, and you can practice every day with just a few minutes of scrolling.
Social media really does make language learning accessible. And finally, for people who want to practice writing and get feedback, there are platforms like Lang8 or even communities on Reddit, like R English Learning. You can write short essays, answer questions, or even join discussions. Other users, often native speakers, will give you feedback on your writing. It's a helpful way to improve grammar, spelling, and even style.
Yes, Julia, there's really a tool for every area of learning now. So to our listeners out there, remember that you have all these amazing resources at your disposal. Whether it's apps, videos, courses, or connecting with people online, There are so many ways to improve your English using digital tools. The key is consistency. Practice a little bit every day, use multiple resources to keep things interesting, and don't be afraid to try new things.
That's right, Adam. Learning a language is a journey, and using technology can make that journey more fun and accessible. So explore, find what works best for you, and enjoy the process. Remember, the digital world is here to support you in achieving your language goals.
Now, let's take some time to answer questions from our audience. These are common questions we get about using English in the digital world, and we hope our answers will be helpful for everyone, especially for those who are just starting their English journey.
Absolutely, Adam. So, let's jump right in. Here's a question we hear a lot. How can I improve my English vocabulary in a fun way?
Great question. One of the best ways to expand your vocabulary while having fun is by watching English movies or TV shows with subtitles. Try watching a scene, note down new words, then replay it without subtitles to see if you remember. Another great option is language apps like Duolingo or Memrise. They turn learning into a game, so you're motivated to keep going and learn new words every day.
Yes, and let's not forget YouTube. There are so many channels dedicated to English vocabulary, like English with Lucy and BBC Learning English. They make short, interesting videos that explain common phrases, idioms, and even slang. Watching one video a day can really help build your vocabulary without feeling like hard work.
Here's another question we get a lot. I feel nervous when I try to speak English online. How can I get better at speaking?
Oh, this is such a common feeling. A lot of learners feel shy or worried about making mistakes, but the best way to improve speaking is by practicing with people. Apps like HelloTalk and Tandem are great for this because they connect you with native speakers who are learning your language, so you help each other. Start with simple conversations, and over time, you'll feel more comfortable.
Exactly, Julia. And remember, making mistakes is part of learning. Don't aim for perfection right away. Focus on communicating your thoughts clearly. Another tip is to practice with yourself by recording your voice. You can talk about your day or describe something around you, then listen to your recording. This helps build confidence before you speak with others.
Here's one more question. Can I really learn English by just using online tools?
Good question. The answer is yes. You can make great progress using online tools, especially if you're consistent. Apps, YouTube videos, and social media give you access to lessons and native English speakers, which are key for learning. But to get the most out of it, try to practice daily. A little bit every day will go a long way.
That's right. And remember, the internet has almost everything you need, from grammar lessons to vocabulary games and even live conversations. So, use those resources to your advantage. With dedication, you can achieve a high level of English just by using digital tools.
All right, everyone. That brings us to the end of today's podcast. Let's quickly review what we discussed today about the importance of English in the digital world.
First, we talked about how English is the main language for digital communication. It's widely used on social media, in business, and in global interactions, which makes it essential for anyone who wants to connect with the world.
Exactly. We also discussed how English opens up opportunities for work and education. With the ability to communicate in English, you can access more jobs, online courses, and resources that may not be available in other languages.
And we shared practical tips for using technology to improve your English, like using language apps, watching YouTube videos, and joining online communities. The digital world has so many tools, so don't hesitate to explore them and find what works best for you.
So, our key takeaway is this. English is a bridge to the world, especially in today's digital age. By practicing a little every day, using digital resources, and staying consistent, you can make progress and build confidence.
That's right, Adam. So, to everyone listening, remember to practice, explore, and have fun with your learning. Use English online every day, whether it's chatting, watching videos, or writing. Every little bit helps.
Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of the English Globe. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and we'll see you next time with more tips and insights on learning English.